The Journey Begins by A.B. England. He hadn't seen the old man since the night his father died. Cathad leaned on the staff Connor would have sworn he carried only for appearances a year ago. His bushy white beard and locks were gone, replaced with a woolen cap and patchy scruff along his jaw. He looked smaller, weaker, and far older without the cloud of hair and the pronounced stoop in his posture. Cathad's apprentice followed close behind. She was loaded down with 2 bags that must weigh half as much as her. Moonlight glinted in her eyes as they appraised Connor and the other 2 strangers gathered within the clearing. The wind shifted, and the pungent odor of damp fur assailed Connor's nose. He fought the urge to stare at the Sphinx female crouching across the way. Her unease with his presence and that of the hunter standing between them was palpable from the moment they'd entered the glen. Connor shuddered and swiped to the back of his neck, trying to get the small hairs there to lie back down. "Why have you called us here?" asked the Sphinx. "Chutchdelaine is slain," said Cathad. "Ulster is without an heir, and Maeve will hear of it soon." "Why have you called us here?" Connor repeated. "Do you expect us to bury him in secret?" "No, young healer," Cathad answered. Anger flashed in his eyes before it cooled to sadness. He sighed. "As in times of old, we must turn to Tir na Nog and its king for aid in king-making." "A druid's task," Connor said. "Are you so old you cannot perform your duties?" "Cathad is ill, and time is short," snapped the old man's apprentice. She stepped forward, placing herself between Connor and the old man. Her skin glowed pale in the light of the full moon, and eyes he remembered being so dark they were nearly black watched him with anger burning in their depths. "Ulster needs a king before Maeve's raids turn to war. Will you help or not?" Connor looked from the young woman to Cathad. Hatred for the old druid clenched his throat and squeezed at his heart. The man's demands and arrogance cost him his father's life years ago, and tonight made it obvious time had humbled Cathad. Connor couldn't imagine the druid he'd loathed for years asking for aid from a Sphinx, a hunter, and a lowly healer. "I will go," said the Sphinx. "Maeve's men are poachers," the hunter said. "I'll come too." The apprentice, Deirdre if Connor remembered correctly, thanked the 2 of them before looking back to him. "And you?" she asked. "You'll need someone who'll actually tend the sick and injured, I suppose," Connor replied. "When do we leave?"